Hello, and welcome back to my RooVentures. As we kick off another season of camping and travel adventures with the Roo, it wasn't difficult to guess what question is on every traveler's mind this year. It seems as though the moment travel destinations began to open up to visitors once again following the pandemic restrictions, we suddenly found ourselves locked in place again because we can't afford to fill our gas tanks to leave the house for our next camping adventure. During the long, cold winter, I had high hopes of hitching up and taking off as soon as the snow began to melt. I made a bunch of reservations and began planning out several major trips to make up for lost time. Knowing that gas prices had been rising all year, I estimated that my fuel expenses would double over last year. In fact, I did very little traveling during the second half of last season, so I could save on fuel expenses. Then, recovering from the depression of all that, I'm now looking at what measures, if any, I can take to counteract these price increases and still get some good RV travel in this season. Of course, I did think seriously of selling the RV and the truck. The supply of new RVs has still not yet recovered from the pandemic manufacturing and supply chain slump. Prices on the used market have been at a premium. In fact, RV owners have actually been able to make a profit by selling their RVs after getting a couple of years of enjoyable travel out of them. However, it makes sense to me that as gas prices continue to rise out of control and out of the reach of the average American, that the demand for RVs may actually start to decline this year. Then in the future, when we want to buy an RV again, and there's hope on the fuel horizon that it could be more affordable, well, availability and prices may create difficulty in attaining what you're looking for. So for now anyway, I'm keeping the Roo and investing in maintenance and care of my Yukon. Next, I wondered if there was even an electric vehicle capable of towing a decent-sized load, which in my case can be nearly 5,000 pounds with a fully loaded camper, generator, food, water, bikes, and other gear. I'm lucky if I can get 8 or 9 miles to the gallon pulling this with the Yukon, with its 6.2-liter engine and 8 cylinders. My 26-gallon gas tank will cost me about $150 to fill, and that's at the current prices. It turns out that there is an electric vehicle in production that at least promises the world on a string. The Ford F-150 Lightning is currently being advertised with a $39,000 base price. Another $4,000 or so in options will give you a more powerful battery and a full tow package that supposedly can give you up to 10,000 pounds of towing capacity. You can even use the vehicle to power your home during a power outage. There's no information I could find on just how much towing will decrease the required interval between charges, but theoretically, under perfect conditions, it's advertised to be able to run for 54 minutes on a 10-minute quick charge, wherever that's available. However, this sounds dubious with heavy loads in tow. I've also read elsewhere that a full charge can take up to 6 hours. With a fully charged high-capacity battery, the truck, without anything in tow, is rated for 300 miles. It seems like this could really eat into a long-distance cross-country trip, though, unless you could set up camp at the charging station and take a nap. But actually none of this matters anyway, because Ford can't even keep up with the demand for these trucks. Batteries and computer chips are being held hostage in the supply chain, and back orders for the Lightning can't be fulfilled in the foreseeable near future. Last year I tried out GasBuddy, and I reviewed the program and the app on this channel. I'll post a link to the video with the full review right here. The bottom line was that I was able to save up to 25 cents off per gallon, but there were many catches. Only a small percentage of stations were participating in the 25-cent discount, and most of my gas was purchased with only a 5% per gallon discount. A nickel is a nickel, I guess, but the worst part was that you're only allowed to purchase $75 worth of gas per day, which right now for me equates to a half a tank, and then the pump shuts off and you need to start a new transaction with your actual credit card to fill the rest of the tank with no discount. And then there's also a $300 weekly limit. So the way gas prices are rising out of control, by midsummer that will only amount to about one tank full a week, with the greatly discounted rate in the neighborhood of, say $6.16 per gallon. No thank you. My last and best option for this year will be to pay for my gas with my Discover card. During April, May, and June of this year, all gasoline purchases will earn a 5% premium cashback reward. And if you can open a new Discover account, you'll earn double cashback rewards on all your purchases for the entire first year that you have the card. That's like getting 10% off per gallon of gas, or in these times, it equates to 40 to even 80 cents off per gallon. The only limits on this reward is that only the first $1,500 in gas purchases is eligible for the 5% cashback. And beyond that, the rate is just the 1% normal cashback that applies to all purchases. Still, this will amount to well over $150 in cashback for me just during the months of April, May, and June. So, where there's a will, there's a way. And I hope you find a way to a more affordable RV travel season this year. Tell me in the comments below how far you plan to travel and how you plan to save money on your fuel expenses this season. And subscribe to follow my travel adventures in the Roo. Plus RV travel tips, reviews, and giveaways. So until I see you in the next one, happy travels!